Hello and welcome to the Hornby Magazine Workshop for a very special Hornby Magazine show in which we go through the new Hornby 2021 catalogue range.
That's right, obviously 2020 was an exciting year for Hornby where it marked its centenary. We have a brilliant range of products to show, and then in this year we've got more. So Hornby hasn't rested on its laurels, we've got some great products to go through here, and we'll go through all of those in this video with you. So before we get going with the range review, our latest issue is on sale in Tesco from January the 6th and nationwide from January the 7th. Now in Tesco stores you can buy our latest issue with Hornby's 2021 catalogue for a discounted price. So you save £4 off by the two items separately. That offer is available in Tesco from January the 6th to January the 19th. And if you miss out on it in stores, you can purchase it online from shop.keypublishing.com for delivery direct to your door with both issue 164 and the catalogue together.
And of course, I'll put a link in the description below.
Plus, if you are a Hornby Magazine subscriber, you can apply for the same discount on purchasing the Hornby 2021 catalogue with us by calling our mail order department on 01780 480 404 and quoting your subscriber number. Right, on with the show. And probably the best bit, well certainly for me, I know you like electric locos, a specific one, but steam locomotives.
Tony's Trains of Rugby is located at Hillmorton Locks on the outskirts of Rugby. We are open Tuesday to Saturday 10 till 5 but closing early on Saturday at 4 o'clock. We stock Hornby Bachmann, Graham Farish, Pico, Gauge Master, Howjan, Oxford and Oxford Diecast, Acura Scale and more. We also have a large selection of second-hand models to suit all budgets. You can either visit us in store or reach me on 01788 543 442, visit our website tonystrainsofrugby.com or find us on Facebook.
So the highlight for many is the Hornby steam range. So let's get straight to it with the new tooling.
Absolutely. So if anyone has seen the Hornby 2021 catalogue cover already, then there's a little giveaway on the cover. I was quite excited when I saw the cover, the artwork. For one thing, the artwork's very reminiscent of a catalogue from 1971, and it signifies that we're getting a brand new model of BR's 9F 210. Well, brilliant locomotives, hugely powerful. Everyone loves the spaceship, as they were nicknamed at the time in the 60s. They're doing it all brand new from scratch. So there's nothing from the previous issues of the 9F are going to exist. And one of the reasons they're doing that is because 2021 marks 50 years since the first Hornby 9F was completed in 1971. And if people were following the 2020 range last year, they'd realise actually it's got quite a lot of significance as being the last trying Hornby produced, all new produced locomotive, I should say. So this brand new version, we've got 3 versions of it coming in 2021. It's due out during October, and it's going to cover a range of different locomotives. Hornby's tooling different tenders, different detail parts to go with these locomotives as well, so there will be a really high fidelity product which will cover each locomotive individually correctly with the right components. At the moment we believe they're going to have 8-pin decoder sockets and space for a speaker in the tender, and also have 5-pole motors and locomotive drive.
And they'll also carry an RRP of £209.99.
So 3 locomotives are coming in the 2021 range. We've got 92167 in BR black with early crests, We've got 92194 in BR black with late crests, and the most significant 9F of all. Obviously, they couldn't produce a new 9F without producing a new version of this locomotive. We've got the last built 9F and British Railways' last ever steam locomotive, 92220 Evening Star, in its really quite stunning BR lined green livery. That was unique to Evening Star. There's no other 9Fs that carried that colour scheme. Always thought that logo looked fabulous in green.
Absolutely.
Especially on the head of the Pines Express on the Somerset and Dorset.
And of course, anyone who's been to York will have seen it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I've seen it many times. Always, it's beautifully kept as Evening Star. It was made in 1960. It was literally BR's last steam locomotive ever to be built, and it's lived a long and happy life. It even used to run on the main line at one point in the late 1980s. So, excellent additions to the Hornby range.
Right, next.
So we start with a couple of industrial additions to the Hornby 2021 range. And one of those is Peckett B2 060 saddle tank number 1203 from 1910. It's called the Earl, and it's going to be finished in National Coalboard blue livery. It's got a 6-pin decoder socket, and it's due for release in August 2021.
And we should expect an RRP of £114.99.
That's right, and that's going to be joined by a second Peckett B2 060 saddle tank, and that's going to be finished as Henry, which is number 1264 from 1913, and it's going to be in Port of Bristol Authority lined green with really rather nice red frames as well.
And we can expect that one a bit earlier in March, actually, that one.
Yeah, it's listed as March 2021 in our availability list at the moment. Again, we should say at this point, it's quite important to note that availability dates are subject to change. They may change during the year, but at the moment these are the timescales that Hornby's expecting these things to arrive for. So, next, it's the ever popular Terrier 060 tank that's new into the 2021 range, and we expect a collection of new liveries on this locomotive during the year. First, we've got a Kenton East Sussex Railway one, finished as number 3 Bodiam, and it's really rather smart blue livery.
That's available from August 2021 with an RRP of $99.99 or DCC fitted at $120.99.
That's right, so this has got a 6-pin decoder socket in it, as per the first batch, and Hornby, because of the size of these locomotives, decided to continue doing them with both DCC ready and DCC fitted. So if you're not particularly comfortable with fitting your own chips, there is the option to buy that factory fitted from Hornby as well. Next, we've got a British Railways black version with sunshine lettering as 32646. It's got a longer coal bunker on it, and that model is the A1X later version as well.
Availability at the same month in August and the same price as well, as we'd expect.
And then we've got a third Terrier joining the collection. It's 32640 in BR lined black with early crests. Great livery on Terriers from my point of view. I've always think, well, as a BR steamist, that's my kind of livery. So,
and again, out in August, same RRP.
So 2020 saw the arrival of Hornby's brand new model of the 61XX and 5101262 Prairie tanks for the Great Western Railway. And they offer them in a collection of both Great Western and BR era liveries. And we've got 2 new ones coming in 2021. So first off the blocks, we've got 6147 in BR black with late crests.
And that's due in October 2021 with an RRP of $146.99.
That's right, and that's a follow-up to the previous edition from last year, which was in BR black with early crests for the 61XX, and that's going to be joined by a new 5101 as well, and that's going to be finished as 5189 in BR line green with early crests.
Which in theory is coming out at the same time.
That's right, yeah. Lovely locos those. Always like the Prairies, really nice purposeful things. So good choices for the Western region layouts and good choices for Grosvenor Square, of course.
I want to make you try and sound fit one later in the year.
Yes, I will do that. So I've got a plan. So. Next up, we've got a pair of BR2MT 260s. Now, this all-new model was announced in the 2020 range, but it hasn't quite arrived yet. So the first batch is due to arrive in the first half of the year, and these two will follow on towards the end of the year as well, so it makes a bit of a gap between those. So if you're ready to fill your boots with BR2MTs, then you're really in for a winning year this year. So the first version is 78054 in BR line black with late crests.
Available from December 2021 with an RRP of $188.99.
That's right, and next we've got 78006 in BR line green with late crest, so perfect Cambrian area locomotive.
Available same month, same price.
Next, a favourite subject of mine, these bullied Pacifics. Can't have enough of those, although there would be an argument that says I could have enough of those. Anyway,
your other half would say you've got enough of those.
She probably would. Anyway, there's a new one coming. So this is a Battle of Britain 462, and it's finished as 34051 Sir Winston Churchill, and that's part of Hornby's Railway Museum collection.
And this one will be available very quickly in theory, because it's got a release date of January 2021 and an RRP of $219.99. Now this is a real treat because, like we said, if you visited York earlier, but if you visited Shildon,
Yep.
you'd be able to go and see this one as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's,
And take your model with you.
yeah, yeah. Go and take your photo of your model
Yeah.
with the real Winston Churchill. Yeah, it's, always like these West Countries. Brilliant locos, run really well, powerful motor, lots of nice detail on them too. Interestingly, now they're coming to be about, I think it's about 2001 or 2002 when these were actually first released. So they've got a few years on them now, but still good models. So sticking with the Southern Region theme, we've got a new addition for the Merchant Navy collection this year, and importantly, there's something new with the Merchant Navy as well. So this is the first time that Hornby's modelled the second series of Merchant Navies, and we've got 35017 Belgian Marine coming, and that comes with a shorter tender as well. So a little bit different to what we've seen so far from the Merchant Navy. So the first batch of Merchant Navies modelled the very first locos, 21C1 and 21C3, which are the part of the first series, and they also then did the later batch, which were built, I think, after British Railways period, which models what's called the third series of Merchants. So this fills the gap as well.
And this one's due in August 2021, and it does have a slightly cheaper RRP of £189.99, so a bit of a saving there.
Yeah, that's right. So again, fabulous locomotives. I've got a couple of them. Still eagerly awaiting the BR Blue one to come as well. Really need a BR Blue Merchant Navy in the collection. So again, can't have too many Merchant Navies. Sticking with the Pacific theme, we've got two new Stanier Princess Royals coming in 2021, and they're going to have the same features as before. So you expect sprung buffers, 5-pole motor, flywheel in there as well. They've also got a firebox flicker on them, and plus they've also got 8-pin decoder sockets and space for a 28mm speaker in the tender as designed. So first up, we've got 6205 Princess Victoria in LMS lined crimson.
And they're due, of course, in September with a RRP for DCC ready at £209.99 and DCC fitted at £235.99.
That's right, and then 6205 is going to be joined by 6203 Princess Margaret Rose in LMS lined crimson as well.
And of course that has the same release date and the same RRPs.
Sticking with the Pacific theme, we've got the return of a much requested locomotive with Hornby as well. We've got the return of the Scottish Clans. So we've got two new versions coming in 2021. We've got 72004 Clan MacDonald in BR lime green with early crests. We've also got 72009 Clan Stewart in BR lime green with late crests.
And they're both due for availability in August with an RRP of £179.99.
Yep, excellent additions. They'll be perfect for anyone modelling the Scottish region in the BR steam era. Next up, Hornby's brand new models of the A22 and A23462 are back in focus, and both of those are due to arrive in the shops during January and February 2021. That's the first batch, which was announced in 2020. We've got two new versions that are coming in the 2021 catalogue as well. So first up, we've got 60502 Earl Marischal, which is an A22. That's going to be finished in BR lime green with late crests, and that's going to be joined by A23 number 511 Airborne in LNER lined apple green.
And they'll both be hitting the shelves in theory in December with an RRP of £209.99.
That's right, so they're coming in December, those two new ones, so it gives a bit of a gap from that first batch arriving. So if you do want to continue collecting the A2s and A23s, there's a bit of time for you to catch up and be ready for those next ones coming out too.
And now on to something that Mike's going to be excited about.
I think everyone knows that I'm excited about the W1s. I have mentioned it once or twice during the past few months. So we've got,
sure you did.
Yeah, a trio of new W1s coming later in 2021. The first batch, again, they're going to be delivered around May time this year. So the ones from the 2020 range, they'll be out in the middle of the year. And then these ones will be coming towards the end of the year. So you wouldn't have thought there were quite so many options on a W1, but there are. So first we've got it in original condition, so hush-hush condition, as 10,000 in L&ER lead grey, but with a double chimney. So that's different to what's been done so far with it. Next, Hornby is doing something a little bit different. It's a livery that we're not actually sure, and they're not actually sure, that the locomotive carry, but nevertheless, it looks brilliant. So they're doing it in L&ER silver as 10,000 with gold leaf lettering on the locomotive and tender. And that's going to be joined by a second version of it for the BR era, and that's going to be 60700. It's only British Railways number, but this time it's coming with a late crest on the tender side.
And we can expect all of these to arrive in December with an RRP of £209.99. So next up we have, well, Mike, is it a new tooling or is it a tooling update?
Right, so we've got new versions of the Gresley A1 and A3 462 coming from Hornby, and they are making some upgrades to its tooling to enhance its weight and also the quality of the detailing on it as well. So they made a new footplate for the locomotive, so the running board underneath the boiler, which can be die-cast, so it's going to give you more weight into the locomotive for better adhesion and better detail as well. Plus, it's also going to be gaining firebox flicker as well from the factory, so a couple of little upgrades for the A3 there. and also the A1. So we've got 4 versions coming in 2021 using this new upgraded tooling, and the first is 2564 Knight of Thistle, and that's an original L&ER A1 462. That's going to be joined by A1 2547 Doncaster in L&ER lined green with a coal rail tender, which will be followed by A1 number 45 Lemberg in L&ER wartime black, again with a coal rail tender. And finally on the A3, for all those with a following for the National Railway Museum, we've got a new version of 60103 Flying Scotsman in A3 condition, but this is in its early BR form when it had no smoke deflectors, it had a single chimney, the banjo dome, and it's got an early crest on the BR lime green livery.
And all these are expected in September with an RRP of £209.99. So on to more new tooling.
Yes, it's a continuation of the Hornby 00 range that Hornby revealed as part of its 2020 collection last year. So we saw the model of 6231 Duchess of Atholl released during the year, which had a brand new die-cast boiler, which, well, I think it looks superb with that. And they're continuing that theme to create more locomotives under that banner. So first we've got 46252 City of Leicester, which is another Stanier Duchess, but this time it's going to be in BR line green with early crests. And there are new tooling elements to that to work with the die-cast tooling for it.
And that's due in February with an RRP of £264.99.
That's right, and then we've also got a brand new version of the Merchant Navy. So this is the same chassis, so exactly like the Duchess, it's the same chassis you've seen on the previous Merchant Navies, but it's going to have a completely freshly tooled die-cast body for the locomotive. It'll still have the plastic tender, and interesting, these are going to continue that second series theme which we saw with 35017 earlier. First we've got 35016 Elders Fifes in British Railways lettered malachite lined green. And that's going to be joined by a model of 35011 General Steam Navigation, which is going to be finished in BR lined green with early crests on the tender.
And we can expect these in July with an RRP of £264.99.
So mention the price there as well, it is important to note that these are special edition locomotives. So not only do you get the bespoke die-cast metal body tooling for them as well, they're also limited editions as well, so there's only about 500 of each being produced.
Oh, so very collectible.
Absolutely, yeah, and off the back of how Duchess of Atholl went down last year, I think these all sell through phenomenally well. I already want another Merchant Navy.
We're getting quite a list here.
Of Merchant Navies, yeah. Right, there is another very important Steam announcement to make as well.
I'm very excited about this one.
Yes, actually, it's actually a triple Steam announcement. It's something I don't think people would have been expecting this year from Hornby either, and that is the P2282. I can already see through the camera into your rooms, there's raised eyebrows now, thinking, P2 again? Why are they doing the P2 again? Well, the original version of the P2, which was done around 2012, that was done to work across both the main range and railroad range. So there's some compromise with the detail to allow it to be at a lower price. Had a good chassis in it, ran very well. We've got one up on the layout behind us here. But they're actually now retooling the P2 entirely from scratch. I think we're doing 3 versions of it.
Wow.
So, first piece of information. The existing P2 model is going to be part of the railroad range. So that'll only be a railroad model from now on. These are brand new models, proper fidelity tooling like we'd expect from things like the W1 and the Merchant Navy. And, well, like I say, 3 versions. So first up we've got a model of 2007 Prince of Wales. So that, as if you watched our Great Electric Train Show virtual event, is the brand new P2, which is being built by the P2 Steam Locomotive Company, which you went to see earlier in 2020. That's got unique tooling for it, because that locomotive is slightly lower and slightly narrower than the original P2s were in order to fit onto the British loading gauge as it is now. So you've got that coming as one version. Then they're moving on to do 2002, which was the second of the original version of the P2, so Earl Marischal in its original condition, and that is, like I say, in original condition, so that will have the extra inch, I think it's an inch or something like that of height on top of the boiler, to make it a fully detailed version of that locomotive. And last but not least, and I was very excited when I saw this announced in the Hornby range, they're doing 2003 Lord President in its streamlined form. So something that's never been done before, ready to run here. We've never seen the P2 in this form in model railways. So 3 brilliant additions there for the Hornby steam range.
And they're due out in December with an RRP of £209.99.
That's right, and we'll expect things like sprung buffers, you can expect a 5-pole motor, decoder socket in the tender I would expect, plus speaker space as well. They could be a really nicely detailed model, I think. Really looking forward to seeing all those come through.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Prince of Wales, especially if they've made all the modifications that the one they're building has.
Yeah, I wonder if they have the USB sockets in the cab for you as well.
Oh, we never know.
Might be a little bit small to recreate in 4mm scale, but
They might have the box that they're in.
maybe. We'll see. So that brings us to the end of the steam collection. So we're going to move on and start looking at diesel and electrics.
I'm Chris Tippin and the shop is called TTCDIECAST. The shop's 107 Nottingham Road in Derby. We sell the ranges of Pico, Metcalfe, Hornby, Bachmann, Farish, Dapol, Helgen, basically all the main manufacturers for O&M. We do North Core, DFE, Britbus, all that sort of stuff, and we do new and second hand. Website is the main point of contact, ttcdiecast.com. Shop phone when the shop is open on 01332 343 943.
Welcome back, and it's time to move on to the diesel and electric category.
The bit I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah, and we're also going to include the train packs for this year as well. First, we've got a pair of new Class 87s for 2021, using Hornby's brand new tool for that, which was released, I think it was 2017 that first arrived. First, we've got 87006 City of Glasgow in its unique BR large logo dark grey livery, and that's going to be joined by a second version of the 87, which will be finished as 87009 City of Birmingham in Intercity executive colours.
And both of those are due in November with an RRP of £179.99.
Yep, excellent. Again, 8-pin decoder socket, sprung buffers, space for a speaker, although it's a little bit tight in these, all-wheel drive, nice 5-pole motor, twin flywheels, all the proper stuff you'd expect from a Hornby top-of-the-range diesel or electric locomotive.
Very solid models.
Indeed. Next, we've got something a little bit smaller. This time it's the return of the Sentinel 040 diesel shunters. First, we've got a London Carriers International liveried version as Jean, and that's going to be joined by a second version which is going to model Hitachi's Sentinel Shiaki Uda, which is finished in the grey livery that's used on that locomotive at South Eastern's depot in Ashford.
Both are available from November, and Jean has an RRP of £78.99, whereas the Hitachi Sentinel, I won't attempt to say the name, has an RRP of £83.99.
That's right, and also mention the Hitachi one there again. We need to mention that it's got a few tooling upgrades on that as well. So you get the air cleaner on the side of the running plate. You've also got new handrails on this one, and it has different buffer heads at each end, and it's got Scharfenberg couplings as well as an optional part that you can plug into the NEM coupling pockets, so just as the locomotive is at the Hitachi depot. The Class 08's coming back too, and this time it's going to be issued as 08715 in a rather striking yellow livery.
And what's on the side of it?
It's got a little logo on the side as well. I think it's a bird motif, probably from the depot or yard where it operated, and that's due for release in June 2021.
With an RRP of £145.99.
The ever popular Class 56 is back too, and this time we're going to have two new versions for 2021. So we've got 56047 in BR Blue, and that's going to be joined by a model of 56086 in BR Large Logo Blue.
Both available in December, and they have an RRP of £179.99.
Another locomotive, you just can't have enough 56s. Moving on, we've got a pair of new Class 153s for 2021, modelling the units which have been used by ScotRail for cycle and equipment transport. So we've got 153377 in its stunning all-over advert livery, and we've got also another model of 153380 in the same colour scheme.
This is meant to be a vinyl overlay, isn't it, onto the locomotive?
I believe so, yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing these, because it's a really complex piece of artwork which overlays windows and doors and all sorts, so it's a really complex piece of artwork to recreate on a 4mm scale model.
Very nice to see. And they're due in August with an RRP of £125.99.
So Hornby's got a new Coco Cavalcade for 2021 with a nice range of colourful Class 66s. Starting the list, we've got 66850 David Maidment OBE in Colas Rail Freight livery. Next, we've got 66713 Forest City in GBRF blue and orange. There's 66721 Harry Beck in Metronet renewing the tube colour scheme. 66709 Sorrento with the MSC ship logo on the side of it. We've got 66773 Pride of GB Rail Freight with its rainbow GBRF logo. There's 66113 in DB Schenker Red for delivering for our key workers. 66623 Bill Bolsover in Bardham Aggregates Blue with a Freightliner green roof.
So these are all available from July with an RRP of $74.99, and Hornby are continuing their offer where if you buy the Loco alongside a TTS sound decoder, they'll do it for $99.99, I believe.
Yep, that's right. So buy the two together and get them slightly cheaper.
Nice bundle.
Yeah, indeed. Right, more Cocos. So first we've got some new Class 60s for 2021. So we've got 60028 in Kappa Group Blue and Grey. And that's going to be joined by 60095 in GB Rail Freight Blue and Orange. And the 60026 Helvellyn in GBRF branded blue with an orange sole bar stripe.
Now the Kappa 60 will be available from October, whereas the other two will be available from July, and they all have an RRP of $188.99.
I think actually that GBRF livery on 60095, I think that really suits the Class 60s.
It'll go with my 50s.
It will, yeah. Very nice they are. So next we've got a nice modern Bobo with a model of 67014 in the new Transport for Wales grey and red colour scheme.
Now this really does give a clue as to what's in the catalogue further up because of what these haul on a day-to-day basis.
That's right, yeah, so it's a new livery, new training formations as well, so exciting things to look forward to there.
This will be available from December with an RRP of $159.99.
Right, would you like some more new tooling?
I do.
Excellent, let's go on to something brand new for 2021.
Ooh.
Okay, so something brand new that's never been produced for double O gauge before. Now, you may remember a couple of years ago that Hornby produced a model of the four-wheel diesel shunter, the Ruston and Hornsby 48DS. Tiny little thing, lovely little model actually, and they did a shunter's truck with it as well to give it a bit of extra contact for running over small points and things. And now that they're continuing that Ruston and Hornsby theme with a model of the larger 88DS.
So people will be glad to know it's slightly bigger.
It is, yeah. So the 88DS, the important things I suppose to make distinctly different about it are it is physically bigger, so it is sizably bigger. It's still a four-wheel chassis, but it had I think it was an 88 horsepower engine, whereas the 48DS had a 48 horsepower engine. And we've got a nice collection of 4 of those coming out in 2021. So first we've got one in North British Distillery livery. Next we've got one in Roundtree & Co. lined green as number 3. Handily, the 88DS was also used by British Railways, with one example being used by the North Eastern Region Engineering Department. So we've got a version of that as number 84 in BR lined green. And finally, that's going to be joined by a BR blue version as number 20 with BR double arrows on the cab side and wasp stripe front ends.
And they'll all be due from July with an RRP of $93.99.
That's right, and a few little things to tell you about those. So you can expect turn metal buffers, turn metal wheels, NEM coupling pockets front and rear, and they're also going to have a 6-pin decoder socket inside as well, plus a 3-pole motor.
To be fair, we got a sound speaker inside the 48DS, so
Yeah,
no excuse with this one.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what we can do with that. So it's always nice to have a small Loco to have a challenge. That's yeah. Right, next, some train backs with a diesel and electric theme. The Class 390 Pendolino is definitely back in fashion with Hornby, and following on from the 2020 range model of an Avanti West Coast set, we've got a second version for the same operator actually, but this time it's in a much more bold colour scheme.
I'm really glad they did this.
Yeah, it does look fabulous actually. This is 390 119 Progress in its striking Pride livery. So every coach is just, it's well, I don't know how you describe this really.
Well, it's a rainbow.
It's a rainbow, yeah. It's a very striking train. You know, it's reminiscent of sort of the overall advert thing of the past. So.
We're going to have to get West Coast Cement out for these.
Yes, and move it forward by 15 years to the current period, yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, I keep seeing DB Schenker things around in the workshop, so yeah, we've now got to put West Coast Cement into the 1980s to run APTs on. We've got to put it into East Coast Cement to run 91s on, and we now also need to do it in absolute modern era to run the brand new Pendolinos on.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'm in.
So these are due from December with an RRP of $261.99 for this train back.
That's right, and I will mention now there are more coaches coming for this as well later on in the presentation as well, so don't worry, you will be able to put a full Pendolino set together as 390 119.
It's going to look amazing.
Next we've got another rainbow themed train. We've got the Class 800 in its Trainbow themed Great Western Green livery.
I like that, Trainbow. Available from July with an RRP of $414.99.
So again, like all the 800s, it's going to have twin 8-pin decoders in it, one for the motor car, one for the trailer car to power the lights. You've got a 5-pole motor in there, really nice detail throughout, and yeah, great looking train. Right, Richard's second favourite subject, HSTs. Everyone loves an HST, and there are some brilliant colour schemes to put on these units. Right, the first of our HST sets to talk about is a First Great Western purple pair, and that's modelling 43098 and 43087, which is named 11 Explosive Ordnance Disposal Regiment Royal Logistics Corps. Big nameplate.
Very big nameplate. Next we have something that I'm definitely adding to my personal collection. We have the L&ER Farewell Tour set.
Yeah, well, we all went out to see this, didn't we? When on its last day, I think it was December the 22nd last year, something like that.
We did quite well because we're all at different stations.
We were, yeah, so we got different footage at different places. So I was at Grantham, you were at Peterborough with Mark.
And then I went to King's Cross.
And you chased it to King's Cross on an 800, yeah.
Yeah. All the fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, incredibly popular train. I think it was really nice to see LNER do a proper farewell to the HST as well, and to make the effort to put one into that original BR Intercity livery as well. Great looking train.
Very nice, and it's due out in September with an RRP of £299.99, and that includes the previous First Great Western one as well.
Yep. Next, we've got the HST that is, well, it's in the headlines right now, this one. I think there'll be a lot of people thinking, another HST, fingers crossed, is it going to be the one I want it to be? Yes, it is. It's going to be the Midland Pullman version in Nanking Blue. That's the one that's now been repainted by Locomotive Services for use on charter trains, and that is, well, I think it looks great actually. I was a little bit sceptical at first about, Midland Pullman livery on an HST, will it work? But I think the concept of it and the styling of it looks great.
And this one is due in December with an RRP of £314.99.
And I'll mention again, actually at this point, if you are wondering whether there's coaches for it, I can tell you, yes there are. Continuing the train pack theme, but at a very different end of the era spectrum, we've got a new version of the Rocket train pack. So this time we've got Rocket coming in a pack with a first class coach. It's going to have one of the new open third coaches, and there's also a brand new tooling for a Royal Mail coach in there as well.
And this is part of the Railway Museum collection.
Yeah, that's right. So obviously Stephenson's Rocket is very much a part of the National Rail Museum and the Railway Museum collection, and Hornby's continuing that theme with this pack.
And is due in September with an RRP of £199.99.
That's right. And joining that, we've also got some extra packs to go with Rocket now as well. So we've got a 3-pack of the open third coaches, which are going to be using the brand new tooling that's just been released a few weeks ago. And Hornby's also doing another new tooling for the Rocket system, which is going to model flatbed wagons as well.
Both will be available in January with an RRP of £69.99. So we'll have to get a couple of these and turn West Coast back a couple of notches.
Yeah, almost a century, yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah. So Liverpool and Manchester cement.
We'll make it happen.
Just be rockets everywhere. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the train packs and the diesel electric section. So we're going to move on next to rolling stock with the carriages.
I'm Alex Yates and this is the Model Centre. We sell absolutely everything you can imagine in the popular scales. We've got our customisation services, so we've got weathering, got renaming and renumbering, and then all the sort of add-ons, so like real coal, we can fit the parts pack for you, nameplates, cab crew, everything like that. You can order online or on the phone, come and collect it from us, or you can come to the door and we'll just serve you from there. And we're doing free postage on the website as well to sort of compensate for the fact that the shop's not open. You can visit us on our website, themodelcentre.com. Our phone number is 01947 899 125.
Right, so it's time we moved on to coaches.
Yes, there's a big range of new carriages this year with new toolings and reliveries of existing products as well. And we start with a collection of coaches, which I've already mentioned actually earlier in the video. So, Pride Livery Pendolino is available in the train pack section as a 4-car train pack. And you can also buy 5 individual separate coaches to allow you to build up a complete rake of 9 vehicles for the Pendolino. And they're all in matching colour schemes to go with that set, so you can build that full train.
It's going to be a very colourful rake.
It certainly is. It's going to look superb, that, as a fully assembled train.
And they're available from December with an RRP of £44.99 each.
Excellent. Right, Next, we move on to Mk3s, and Hornby is following its recent traditions of providing complete rakes of coaches to go with the power cars it's producing in its train pack section. So if you've got a first Great Western pair of HST power cars, you're pleased to know you can buy a full set of 8 matching trailer cars in the first Great Western dynamic lines to go with them. So that's covering first class coaches, buffet, second class, and also this classic trailer guard standard as well.
And they're available from September with an RRP of $36.99.
Continuing the Mk3 theme, we've also got a full set of Midland Pullman livery coaches to go with the new HST power cars as well. And again, like the other ones, it's a complete rake. However, you will notice this time it is mainly first class coaches, that's what's in the train. There's also 2 buffet cars and a trailer guard standard.
Available from December at $36.99 each.
Another set of Mk3s, this time to go with the L&ER Farewell HST power car pack. And again, full rake of vehicles, so there's a 7 coach set here you can collect, covering first class, standard class, buffet and trailer guard standard vehicles.
These will be available much earlier, from June at, again, $36.99.
And like I say, that they're all individual coaches, but you can then assemble that full length rake to match the power cars.
It's nice to see Hornby doing full rakes.
Yeah, it's an important part of I suppose modern train collecting as well. We want to see trains running in their full formation if we can. Sometimes I think even if you haven't got the space, it's nice to have the full set available. And just for Richard, Hornby specially put in a set of L&ER liveried Mk3 coaches too. Now, all joking aside, Hornby did say that actually every time they've done these coaches, they've always sold through instantly. I think there's probably been more L&ER power cars done, because there's been a couple of limited editions as well, than there have been carriage sets. So this fills that gap in the market for an L&ER set.
It is nice to see. I do need one. And again, they're available from June at $36.99 each again.
And you say you need one, but actually you can have all 7, to make a full 7 plus 2 HST set.
Might need quite a few rakes of 7, to be honest.
Moving on, we've got some charter train stock as well, including Rail Charter Services Mk2D BSO, which is finished in BR Carmine and Cream livery. It says Saphos Train Travel on the side.
These will be available from December with an RRP of $34.99.
That's right, and then that's going to be joined by a collection of Rail Charter Services Mk3 coaches as well. They're all first class vehicles that are coming from Hornby in this case, and they're all finished in the, well, it's quite a classy livery really, nice light grey, black and with red doors as well.
It's very nice. I recently saw these at the on the Settle and Carlisle line.
Continuing the colourful theme, we've got a pair of Lorem liveried Mk2 F coaches. So we've got a standard open, and we've also got a brake standard open as well.
Again, available from December with an RRP of $36.99.
Hornby's new Mk1 restaurant buffet arrived in the final weeks in the run up to Christmas, and a new batch is coming with different numbers and liveries for 2021. It's got 3 vehicles coming during the year. We've got a Southern Region liveried version as a kitchen car. We've got a BR Maroon version, that is for a buffet restaurant car. And we've got a all over blue one for charter trains.
And we'll see those from August, again with an RRP of $34.99.
Continuing the Mk1 theme, we've also got a Mk1 first open finish as a brake force runner, so a Dienapine coach to continue that theme from the 2020 range. And that's coming out in August 2021 with a price of $34.99. Brand new in the Hornby Mk1 range for 2021, we've also got the Mk1 Brake Corridor Composite. That's a new vehicle which has not been done by Hornby before, it has been done by others, but new and expanding on the Hornby Mk1 range. So we've got a number of liveries on that carriage, so we start off with Western Region Chocolate and Cream, which will be followed by BR Maroon, BR Blue and Grey, BR Intercity Executive. There's also going to be a Network Rail version as well, which will have painted over windows as part of its design.
As before, available from June with an RRP of $34.99.
Yeah, and an excellent continuation of the Mk1s there, which starts to build an ever more comprehensive selection of vehicles there. Moving to a more modern carriage design, we've got some new Mk3 sleeper coaches coming during 2021, and those are going to cover BR Blue and Grey, BR Intercity Executive, as well as Caledonian Sleeper Teal.
The Mk3s are arriving in July, and again an RRP of $36.99.
Yeah. And for the Caledonian Sleeper followers, there's also going to be a new Mk2 coach as well. So this is a Mk2E, which is a brake unclassified open, and it's going to be finishing that new striking livery of the Caledonian Sleeper colours.
Same arrival time, same price.
Right, more new tooling for the Hornby 00 gauge carriage section, and the sharp-eyed amongst you may have noticed what this vehicle is, or what this vehicle belongs to, just on the layout here behind us. So Hornby is doing its own collection of 4 and 6 wheel coaches, becoming a wide range of liveries on the same collection of body tools, which can give us lots of choices to run behind some of those early pre-grouping and grouping era locomotives. We've got a number of vehicle types. So in the four-wheel type, we've got a first class, a third class, a brake third, and a baggage car. Whilst in six-wheel form, we've got a first class coach. There's also a one-off composite in the North British liveried set. Plus we've also got a third class coach, and we've also got a brake third as well for the six-wheel coaches. So a nice collection of different vehicles there, which will be able to allow us to create lots of nice little train formations to run with smaller locomotives.
And they're due in March this year, with an RRP of $29.99 without lights and $35.99 with lights.
Yeah, and as Richard said, they are due in March, but actually some of them are already in stock with the Hornby warehouse. So they are going to be gradually phased into the shops and retailers over the early months of this year. So I think by the time we come to March, you should see quite a lot of these available fully in the shops. Now, so we've got lots of different liveries coming on these coaches, so I'll give a quick run through of the vehicles that are coming and the types of vehicle formation as well that can be available for each colour scheme. So we start with North British lined maroon, where you'll be able to mainly buy six-wheel passenger coaches but with a four-wheel baggage car to go with them. We've got Southern Railway Maunsell green, which again is six-wheel coaches for the passenger stock and a four-wheel baggage car. We've got L&ER lined teak as well, which again, same format as before, so six-wheel coaches for the passenger stock and a four-wheel baggage car. In BR livery, we've got a set in BR crimson, including the brake third that's on the layout behind us there, and that's six-wheel coaches with a four-wheel baggage car. I can see lots of uses for both the brake third and also the baggage car in formations which aren't related to passenger stock, so breakdown trains are going to be perfect places to put those as well. No clue to guess what I'm going to do with it. Next we've got L&MR plum and spilt milk on six-wheel passenger stock with a four-wheel brake. Then we move on to London, Brighton and South Coast Railway Crimson, which is a full set of four-wheel vehicles. We've got a set of four-wheel vehicles in LSWR salmon and brown. A set of Great Northern Railway liveried teak stock in four-wheel vehicles. A collection of Great Western chocolate and cream vehicles, again all four-wheel stock. And finally there's also a GWR Terrier train pack, and that's going to come with a Great Western liveried Terrier. There was one that worked on the Great Western network, as well as a four-wheel baggage car, a third class coach and a third brake.
And that's due in October 2021 with an RRP of $299.99.
More new tooling. So Hornby's had quite a reputation for producing the Southern Region Maunsell coaching stock, and they're adding to that collection this year. So before we get onto the actual new vehicle, we've got a couple of reruns of existing items as well. So we've got carmine and cream liveried restaurant cars using the new Maunsell kitchen dining car, which was introduced I think it was 2 or 3 years ago now, and that's going to now be joined there's a new version of the open third, and then brand new for this year with new tooling, we've got Maunsell third class dining saloon. And that's going to be available in Southern Railway livery and 2 different running numbers on it. Plus we've also got a BR era model of the same coach, which is then classified as a dining saloon composite.
And they'll be due in November with a price of $49.99. So next, something we've all been looking forward to here in the Hornby magazine office, well particularly from my quarter, and it's the Hornby Mark IV coach.
Yeah, so 2020 saw the announcement of the all-new Class 91 from Hornby, and well, I'm sure everyone had the question on their lips if they wanted a Class 91 of when can I have some new Mark IVs to go with it. The answer is here, you could have new Mark IVs to go with it in 2021. So they're due towards the end of this year, so it's not something that's going to be instantly available, but that does give you time to buy your 91, save up and buy your coaches. And impressively again, just like all the other coaching stock we've been talking about, Hornby is looking to produce complete rakes of the Mark IVs as well. So you'll be able to buy a full set which is going to cover standard class vehicles, including we believe the Coach B, which has got different tooling to it for the non-gangway end behind the Class 91, plus standard class vehicles, standard class with accessible toilets, buffet car, first class with accessible toilets, and of course the important Mark IV DVT, which is distinctly different to a Mark III DVT.
That was the question that was on the tip of my tongue, that was.
Yes. So DVTs are coming as well, and you'll be pleased to know you'll be able to buy them in a number of liveries as well. So you'll be able to buy a full rake of Mark IVs in original Intercity Executive livery. You can also have a set in Great North Eastern Railway blue with red line along them. There's also going to be a set in LNER white and red. And for something a little bit different, there's also going to be a collection in the new Transport for Wales livery as well, which has just been applied to Mark IVs as well for their new lease of life.
That's what we hinted about earlier.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go with the Class 67.
Now they'll all be due in December with an RRP of $36.99, with the DVT being $69.99.
Yeah, that's right. And talking of DVTs, I think I'm the only one in the office that's actually excited about this yet, but they're also doing the surrogate DVTs that were created to work with the 91s when they first entered service. So that surrogate DVT was a HST power car, which was given buffers and pipework at one end, which basically it fulfilled a short-term need for driving van trailers whilst the actual Mark IV driving trailers were being built. And if I remember rightly as well, those Mark III surrogate DVTs did also work with the 91s with Mark III stock as well, very briefly. So it creates a few more options of things you can do with the Class 91 as well.
It's nice to see them going that extra step with them as well.
Yeah, that's right. And again, with your Class 91, if you didn't want to go down the Mark IV route, I think you mentioned earlier as well, the 91 in its very early days was seen with some intercity liveried Mark I stock as well. I believe even blunt end first, but we'd have to do a bit of picture research on that to confirm the exact details of that. So there are more options beyond Mark IVs for 91s, but I think everyone who's been looking forward to the 91, we're really excited to see you can have the proper stock for them as well.
And the Class 43 DVT is due in December with an RRP of $69.99, and it'll come out with the rest of them.
Yep. And that'll be obviously a non-motorised HST power car. Finally, to sign off on the carriages section, we've got a new collection of bullied 59-foot corridor stock. So that's covering the brake corridor second and also the corridor composite. So that's on the shorter underframe, which was used on the Suburban stock built with the bullied profile.
These will be available from March with an RRP of $49.99.
I'm Ellis of Ellis Clark Trains, and this is our shop, Ellis Clark Trains and Clark Railworks. So we sell fine scale low gauge, that includes our full range of Diecast coaches and our upcoming press flow wagons. So we sell both O gauge, and we use Clark Railworks for selling of our OO, HO, N gauge and all other scales. We sell all brands, we sell Hornby, Bachmann, all continental brands like Fleischmann, Roco, we sell a Cura scale, Dapol, everything. On all our in-stock items, we offer a bespoke weathering and customising service. You can come in person, and of course you can email us as well.
Welcome back. I think it's high tide we moved on to wagons.
That's right, and we start the wagon section with a collection of triple packs of HAA coal hoppers. They've got new packs featuring original rail freight livery, rail freight coal sector with the yellow strapping on them. We've also got yellow coal sector ones with hoods. We've got EWS livery versions with hoods too. Plus, to complete that little collection, there's also a triple pack of CDA China clay hoppers too.
And they're all due to arrive in October, and they have an RRP of $69.99.
So that's the triple packs completed. So we're going to move on to the single items next, and we start with
more
HAAs.
hoppers.
Yes. So the liveries we just talked about as triple packs, they're also available as individual vehicles as well. So if you just want one HAA to add to your collection, there are more choices too. First, we've got one in original rail freight grey. Then there's one in rail freight coal sector with yellow supports. Then an HFA, so HAA with the hood in the same livery, EWS version with the hood, and another CDA as a single wagon too.
And again, available from October with an RRP of $24.49
for a single wagon.
For a single wagon.
Yeah. Excellent. Next. So as is traditional with the Hornby catalogue, we've got a number of private owner open wagons covering the 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 plank type vehicles. They all feature the latest generation chassis, which has got turned metal wheels here and NEM coupling pockets with small tension locks as well. Prices start from £15.99 and they've got due for delivery throughout the year. Next we move on to a selection of box vans, and we've got a number of different vehicles coming out this year. For starters, we've got a BR vent van with shock absorbing marks on the side of it. We've got a Great Western vent van as well, also in BR bauxite. There's a BR quad vent meat van, which again is a nice addition to the range of box vans you can purchase. Plus we've got GWR and BR liveried Mogo vent vans too.
And they're available from August with an RRP of $18.99.
Continuing the wagon theme, we've got a pair of container flats as well. So that's the Conflat A with some different containers on it. One of those is Triang Toys on the branding of the container, and the other one is LMS Furniture Removal Services.
And they're available from July with an RRP again of $18.99.
Next we move on to another favourite of my subjects, and that's parcels vans, and we start with the LMS 4-wheel CCT, and that's been released in BR Maroon,
which is available from January with an RRP of $23.99.
Yeah, and that's going to be joined by a friend in LMS bauxite livery due at the same time at the same price.
So next we move on to a favourite of Mike's.
Yeah, that's right, we move on to the LNER Extra Long CCT, and that's going to be available in LNER livery and also in later BR Blue as well.
They'll be available from May with an RRP of $23.99.
Excellent, and they're going to be joined by new tanker wagons as well. We've got a selection of 4 different 20-tonne tanker wagons, including Cumberland Tard, Esso, and we've also got Costco products and Sunderland Gas Company as well.
Available from September at $17.99.
For a slightly smaller tank wagon as well, we've got a 14-tonne tanker wagon in Trommelson livery, and that's going to be followed as well by United Dairies 6-wheel milk tanker.
Now the Trommelson will be available from September, whereas the United Dairies will be available from January, so very soon.
Yeah, soon be able to expand your milk trains.
And they're at a price of $24.99.
Next we've got a pair of Lowmac Wagons, a bit of a classic from the 1980s. These, originally I think they were actually an Airfix product. I remember having one of these as a child, which had exactly the same kind of style with the container on the deck as well. So 2 new ones coming up. They're both in BR bauxite for the wagon, and then with different container liveries on them. So one has a D Townsend Rock Merchant lettering on it, and the other has A Luckerson on it.
Available from July at $18.99.
And I'll be purchasing some of those Lomacs. Next we move on to a Motorrail car flat in BR Yellow.
Available from May at $29.99.
That's going to be followed by a new version of the Bogie Bolster A wagon.
Another wagon coming in January with an RRP of $20.99.
For those modelling the modern scene and looking to expand their container trains, we've got another pair of KFA container flats, and these are coming with 3 20-foot containers on them each. The first one comes with 3 20-foot tank containers, and that's the second one actually, so 6 tank containers across 2 wagons, so 3 on each.
And both are available from May at $41.99.
The 2019 range all-new LMS 20-tonne brake van is back as well. We've got a new version in BR bauxite, and that's also going to be joined by a version in National Coalboard Blue as well, which is quite a striking livery on a van, which is normally in quite a muted grey or brown livery. The BR version's arriving in May, NCB version's coming in September, and they've both got a price of
$23.99.
Excellent. Next, collectors of Hornby's annual wagon. We're pleased to see there's a new one for 2021, which is going to be based on the HEA coal hopper.
Available from April at a price of $17.99.
And also there's the classic celebration wagon as well. So we've got a happy birthday box van, and we've got a Father's Day open wagon.
They'll be available in April and August at $17.99.
And continuing that theme, we've also got a Merry Christmas wagon for 2021 and reindeer in transit.
And they'll be available in June and July at $13.99 and $16.99.
Right, and to finish off on the wagon section, we've got another parcels van. So right up my street, actually I've been hoping that Hornby's going to redo this van for quite a while actually. It's their Maunsell passenger bogie luggage van. So this is a little bit like, I suppose, the Van C we've had, or the Van B rather, the bogie version, but this one's got gangways on it. It's a different body tooling as well, different underframe components, so brand new tooling from the ground up. May sound odd for some, but in terms of parcel wagons I think it looks great, so been looking forward to this one. So that's going to be available in a choice of Southern Railway olive green. There'll be 2 running numbers on that. It'll also be available in BR crimson with 2 running numbers, and all those are going to have small tension lock couplings, turn metal wheels, turn metal buffers, and a whole host of separately fitted details too.
And these 2 will be available in April at $36.99.
And as an extra piece on top of that, we talked about the model of Sir Winston Churchill 34051 in the steam section of this review, and they're also doing Sir Winston Churchill's funeral hearse as well, which was one of these Maunsell bogie passenger luggage vans, and that's finished in Pullman umber and cream, just as it was in Sir Winston Churchill's funeral train.
Also coming in April, but slightly more expensive at £40.99, but that does allow you to create or recreate the scene at Shildon.
Yeah, okay, so there's a few more little additions on the wagon side. We've got some new container packs coming for 2021, so with a choice of 40-foot and 20-foot containers in each one of these packs. So we've got one in P&O blue, one in evergreen green, then there's another which contains an MSC 20-foot container and a Fesco 40-foot container, and the final one has a Ned Lloyd 20-foot container and an LYS line 40-foot container, and notably those last two are with a weathered finish too.
And all those packs will be available from May and with an RRP of £16.99.
Right, so the new accessory this year as well. So we've also got a separate lighting strip which is battery powered. It's actually identical to the lighting strips which are inside Hornby's new 4- and 6-wheel carriages. So it's magnetically operated, so you get a magnet with it which when you hover that over the reed switch in the circuit board, it will turn the lights on or off. And we've tried it with the coach we've got here on the layout, and it's actually a really nice system. It's very easy to use. Great that you can actually turn your lights on and off, and I'm quite intrigued as well. Simon Cole had a quite interesting idea as well when he was talking to us about this in the presentation, saying that, well, I'm sure models will come up with a way of actually being able to turn the lights on and off on the coach without actually having to touch them. And he had the idea of putting it under a bridge with the magnet, so as your train goes through, it turns the lights on.
That's quite a clever idea, actually.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. I think we should probably try that.
Only works if you've got to bridge both ends of your layout.
Well, that's it. Yeah, well, you need two magnets, one for each end of the layout. But as each coach and each lighting strip comes with a magnet, then you've got plenty of magnets to go around.
We'll have to try that.
Yeah. So this lighting strip is designed to suit the 4- and 6-wheel coaches. So I think it's got about half a dozen LEDs on it. It's got a space for a coin battery to be plugged in as well. So it is battery operated. You haven't got to use pickups in the vehicles, which reduces the drag on the wheels as well, which is a good thing. And that comes in at £12.99 and is due in April. So you may have seen recently that Hornby released a Lionel Trains Gauge 1 Harry Potter train set, which featured the Great Western Castle style logo and a pair of coaches, and they're producing extra track to expand that as well. So you can buy curves, straights and a pair of points as well, so that a little bit more operational value to be built into that.
These will be available from April with an RRP of £17.99.
Hornby's got some new branded items for its 2021 range, including a collection of 4 Beatles themed 4-wheel long wheelbase box vans. They've got different albums from the Beatles history, and they're all available this year from June. Prices are £17.99 each, and they'll be great collectible items. Continuing its Coca-Cola branded theme, we've also got a new summertime train set, which features the 040 tank engine and Coca-Cola livery. Plus we've got a 63-foot container wagon with 3 differently Coca-Cola logoed 20-foot containers and a Coca-Cola branded TTA tanker.
Available in August at £89.99.
If you want to continue on that Coca-Cola theme, you can also expand your train set with new locomotive and rolling stock with the same branding. So there's an 040 tank with Coca-Cola branding, a 14-ton tank wagon, and a refrigerated van too. Perfect for keeping your cans cold.
Available from June and August with an RRP of £36.99 for the loco, £15.99 for the small tank wagon, and £17.99 for the refrigerator van.
There are 2 other new train sets for 2021, and we start with the Valley Drifter train set. So this has got a 040 tank locomotive in it with an open wagon and a carriage. Plus you get the standard additions of a circuit track, a analog controller. You've also got a plug-in wall-mounted transformer and the all-important track mat.
Everyone has to have a track mat. They're available from April at £59.99.
The second new train set for this year has got new technology with it. It's the iTraveller 6000 train set. Now it features the Bagnall 040 diesel, plus a TTA tanker, a tippler wagon and a box van. And it comes with Hornby's new HM6000 Bluetooth analog control system as well. So your train will be driven by your smartphone, and the Bluetooth controller takes care of managing the power to the layout. As usual, as with all train sets, it comes with a circuit of track. It's also got a track mat in there and all the transformers and electric equipment to get you going.
I'm looking forward to having a hands-on with that controller. That'll be available from May with an RRP of £129.99.
Yep, and well, when the HM6000 comes out, we'll make sure we've got a full review in the magazine. We'll also obviously be doing some demonstrations with that here on video too.
Playing trains.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Right, on to Railroad next, and we start with the Railroad train packs. So first up we've got a pack which is aimed at being a way of people getting off the ground for a slightly lower price point and to add to their collection of trains. So perhaps you bought your first train set looking for a way to expand nice and easily. And it comes with a 040 tank, also a 4-wheel coach, a 12-ton box van and an open wagon.
These will be available from June with an RRP of £67.99, so quite a nice affordable set.
Yep. And coming at the same price and due a month later is a second railroad train pack, which contains a Bagnall 040 diesel shunter, plus a open wagon, a box van and a TTA tanker as well. Moving to the railroad collection of individual locomotives, and these again a little bit like the packs, they're aimed to give people a starting point to expand upon a train set. So we start with a Bagnall 040 diesel shunter in BR Blue as 01426. Next we've got a second Bagnall, which is in G Lee Mining Co Limited livery.
Both available from July with an RRP of £41.99.
They're going to be joined by an 040 tank engine numbered 32651 carrying BR lined black livery.
Available from June at £41.99.
Which will be followed by a Great Western Railway 101 040 tank.
With the same availability and RRP.
An 040 tank with T Brown distilleries on it.
This will be available from July with the same RRP.
An 060 tank in South Eastern Chatham Railway livery.
Same availability and price.
And then we move into some slightly bigger locomotives. We've got a Class 73, a 73965 in GB Rail Freight livery.
This is something Mark would like. This will be available from January, so very soon, with an RRP of £72.99.
Yep, and that's going to be joined by another GBRF loco, 20905 in GBRF Blue. Moving on, we've got a Network Rail liveried Class 121 bubble car as 960015.
Available in May at £78.99.
And then we move on to the Railroad Plus collection. Now these are locomotives in the railroad range still, so they're still the same kind of style of tooling, but they've got enhanced decoration on them. And where the locomotives have got nameplates, those nameplates are included in the box as a separate part to add as well. So printed onto the loco as they would be normally, but you also get the extra plate to put over the top of it.
And I'm really looking forward to this first one, particularly as we've got P2 coming.
So now, classic Hornby locomotive, it's 60163 Tornado, the new build A1, which has been finished in BR lime green with late crests on the tender.
This will be available from September with an RRP of £104.99, so very affordable.
Next, move on to a collection of Coco diesels, starting with 47749 City of Truro in Colas Rail Freight livery. That's going to be joined by 47812 in Rail Operations Group Blue with quite a fancy design across the side of the loco.
And both will be available from June with an RRP of £79.99. So.
Next we have a Euro Phoenix liveried Class 37 as 37510.
Available from August at £79.99.
That's followed by a Network Rail liveried Class 57, 57305. That does use the Hornby Class 47 tooling, the old LNER one, but it's been numbered up as a Class 57.
And that will be available from October and it's slightly more, £83.99.
Continuing the Network Rail theme in the Railroad Plus section, we've got 97302 Festiniog and Welsh Highland Railways in the striking yellow livery.
And we'll see that in August at £79.99.
Then we've got 47593 Galloway Princess in classic BR large logo blue with a Scotty dog on the side.
We're expecting to see that in December at £74.99 again.
Which is followed by a Class 59 diesel, this time 59101 in Hanson blue and silver.
And we'll be hopefully seeing that on the shelves from August at £74.99.
So moving back to Colas Rail Freight livery, we've got 37521 in the striking yellow, black and orange livery, and this time we're talking about it with TTS sound installed from the factory too.
These will be available from August with an RRP of £99.99, so a very easy way into TTS sound.
Yeah, definitely a good starting point for sound. Next we've got 47583 County of Hertfordshire in BR large logo blue with its unique body side stripes.
Available from June at the same RRP.
Yeah, and with TTS sound again, factory fitted. We then got 47813 Jack Frost in Rail Operations Group blue, and again it's got TTS sound, factory fitted.
Available from October at the same price.
Which is followed by 47712 Lady Diana Spencer in ScotRail livery, again with TTS sound.
Available slightly later in December at the same price.
Next it's return of the former Lima Deltic with Hornby as well, and in the Railroad Plus range, and this has got digital sound again in both of these models. So first we've got D9018 Banimos in BR two-tone green with small yellow panels, and that's followed by 55013 the Black Watch in BR blue with full yellow ends.
And we're expecting to see both in July at £99.99, so quite a collection of sound locos you could add to your
Yeah, and I think actually it's interesting with the TTS sound thing, because they are actually the diesel sound decoders. We've used them in a lot of our locos as well, and premium locos as well. And the TTS diesel sound decoders are really good. They've got a good quality sound to them. A little speaker upgrade can make the sound even better. And most importantly, from my point of view certainly, is actually when it comes to driving, they've got really good driving characteristics in them as well. So you can really enjoy the driving experience of a TTS diesel decoder and get out of it kind of realistic operation, which makes a big difference.
I was going to say, an upgrade speaker is pocket money, so really helps this range, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. So an extra £10-15 for a speaker is going to take that factory fitted sound up another level, which makes it even better.
So well worth having.
Yeah, definitely. So to wrap up the railroad range, we've got a handful of wagon packs and individual vehicles. So we've got 2 mixed freight packs. We've got one with a tank wagon, an open wagon and a brake van. Then we've got another with a box van, an open wagon and a TTA tanker.
Both packs available from July with an RRP of $34.99.
Then we've got a collection of individual vehicles. We start with an open wagon. Then we've got a 14-ton tanker, a refrigerated van and a cattle wagon.
Available between June and May with an RRP of $13.99 each.
Smith, and I'm the owner of Smith's Model Railways, based in Sheringham in Norfolk, just on the main high street, really close to the Norfolk Railway. So we stock from N gauge to O gauge, brands like Pico, Graham Farish, Hornby, Batman. Just launched our new loyalty card just after lockdown when we reopened. So we also offer these gift vouchers. You can either contact us via our telephone, email, or with our contact form on our website.
So that brings us to the end of our preview of the Hornby 2021 range. This is, of course, becoming a yearly thing for us now.
Yes, it's our second year of doing it, and we'll be back in 2022 doing the same thing as well.
I tell you, it's quite exciting.
It is, yeah. Well, it's great putting these together. I mean, there's so much to look forward to, isn't there? I mean, I know there's one set of things you're particularly looking forward to, but I do know there's other things that have caught your eye as well.
Yeah, those Coca-Cola wagons are amazing. It's got to be the Mark IVs, yes. They're finally here.
Yeah, Richard is definitely looking forward to Mark IVs. All I've had all year is, do you think they're going to do Mark IVs? Do you think they're going to do Mark IVs? You know, they're doing the 91, sure they're going to do new Mark IVs. I'm sure they will, Richard. Just patience.
I have to find something else to nag Simon Kohler about now.
I'll start nagging him about 9S with air brake pumps on them for operating concert time dock. Or wagons instead. It's just find something new. But genuinely, the Mark IVs are a good addition to the Hornby range. I think it's been long needed that both the Class 91 and the Mark IVs have been brought up to modern standards. So I'm really pleased to see you will actually be able to model those, and that you're going to get the full set of coaches. So I don't think they did the full set of coaches before, did they?
No, it's just a couple, I believe.
Yeah. So I think it was just standard class, buffet and first class, wasn't it? So there was elements missing there before. I know they had the bespoke Mark IV DVT. But there were still elements missing there, so you will be able to make scale length Class 91 and Mark IV formations, and they're going to look brilliant. I mean, actually, genuinely, it is going to be really worth our while to turn West Coast cement into East Coast cement in the future to show those off as well.
And we're going to take it back a notch to all the rocket things.
Back a notch for the rocket things. Well, we'll go back a notch to the APT things. I mean, that is the other thing we need to talk about as well. Is there are a number of new items from 2020 that are on the way, and that kind of neatly segues into that, as we mentioned, the APT. So, new items remaining from 2020 which are due for release. So we'll start with the A22 and the A23, which are expected during January and February. We've then got the W1464s, they're expected around May time. Around the same month, you're also going to see, again, subject to some change on these, you should see the Class 91 around then as well, and the Coronation Coaches as well. So I'm really looking forward to those. I've never really modelled much of the Big Four era personally, but I've still got a bit of a fascination with things like that. And to see a full set of Coronation Coaches with lights behind a streamlined Coronation for the first time ever in ready to run form is just going to be phenomenal.
To be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Visually.
Yeah, definitely. So look out for that on here in the future. So that is going to happen. And then obviously beyond that, we've also got then there's the APT is due during the summer. The BR2MTs are due around June time as well. And that brings us up to date with when those 2020 new items are going to be arriving.
Still got the L&ER Class 800s as well.
Yes, right, yes. Yeah, they're on the way as well.
Getting the East Coast main line on me.
Well, I believe the 800s, I think they're due in the first quarter of next year, so you haven't got that long to wait now for the L&ER.
Touch wood.
Yeah. I think you'll see both, I think, we'd have to double check this, but in theory you should see both of those around the same time. Because
it could be an expensive month, isn't it?
Yeah. But then you will be able to have your full 10-car L&ER 800 formation as well.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we've just got to build you a new layout then to run them on. So.
Yeah, we'll get East Coast Cement out.
East Coast Cement, yeah. It's a change in name. Anything else you're particularly looking forward to in the 2021 range?
To be honest, I used to go into these things looking for just the new tooling badge, and there wasn't particularly many new tooling compared to last year when we had obviously the centenary range. But actually, there's actually quite a lot on reflection. I'm glad to see Tornado's back. I'm glad to see the Prince of Wales P2. So I mean, they're quite exciting, really.
Yeah. You mentioned there not being a lot of new tooling, and that's a really interesting comment actually, because we were preparing our content for the magazine, and one of the things I like to do is I like to do a bit of number crunching with the Hornby range to find out what's actually going on it. And do you know how many new tooled items there are, give or take one or two, in the range for 2021?
You're going to tell me?
No, have a guess first. I want you to tell me what you think on first glance, looking at the range, what you think is going to be in terms of new tools.
First, I'm going to say 10 things.
Double it and add some more on top of that. There's 26 new tooled items within the 2021 range. So within that, I'm including the fact that within the Mark IV series, for example, there are 7 different vehicles in that. So, okay, the body might be very similar or the chassis might be similar, but there's still new separate toolings to go into all those to make those individual items, to make them what they are at the end of it. So there is actually, I think on the surface you could kind of be a bit blinded by this range and go, actually there's not as many big new items because there's 2 big new steam engines, there's the new Hornby 00 items, but actually when you start digging down into what there is there's a lot of new stuff. And actually, like for example, the lists, there are 35 new steam locomotives coming out during 2021. That includes both the new tool items and the redeliveries of the existing products as well. And there's also, at the same token, there's 29 different diesel electrics coming out as well.
Wow.
That does include the train packs with the HSTs, the 800s and the 390s in there as well. But there's a lot to look forward to. I don't think anyone's wallet could stretch through all of that in a year.
I was going to say, I need some overtime.
So I think naturally we always, as modelers, always want more, don't we? There's always something else we'd like to see made.
Well, it's easy to say from this side of the catalogue,
exactly,
I suppose.
Yeah. But then you factor in what's still to come from the 2020 range. I know, obviously that was 2020 range, but you look at what's coming this year from Hornby on its own, ignoring everything else, and there is a huge range of new items to look forward to. And by new, I mean actual brand new items. So.
Yeah, I think my local model shop's going to do well out of me this year.
I think everyone's model shop as well. I think all model shops should do well out of the Hornby 2021 range actually, and like I say, combined with what's left to come from 2020, it should be a really good year for new products. So having said all that, I've got some highlights as well that I'm really looking forward to.
I wasn't going to ask.
No, I didn't think of that, so I thought I'd just set myself up for that one. So firstly, those Hornby 00 merchant navies is just want one of those. Obviously, I probably have no need for any more merchant navies, but I'll make space. Yeah.
That surprises me. I mean, not to say you're predictable or anything.
I'm really looking forward to those. Really looking forward to the P2s as well. Actually, the P2 caught me a bit by surprise because it wasn't something I thought that Hornby would be looking to do again at this stage. I mean, it's only 8 years since they did the railroad one, but actually, I'm really pleased they are doing the railroad. They are redoing the P2 and making it top level.
Yeah.
So you can have a proper top draw quality model of the P2, which will go alongside all things like the A4s and the A3s have already done, really strengthening that LNER big mainline locomotive steam they do. But then also other things I'm looking forward as well. Actually, the extension of the Mark 1 carriage range great news for me. It expands the realistic brakes you can create. I really quite like the Hornby Mk1 coaches. They weather nice, they look good in the trains, and they run really freely as well, so they're a good choice of coach there. Diesel-wise, I'm quite taken with the 88DS as well. It's nice because it's a little bit bigger, so it's got a bit more practicality about it as well in terms of being a shunting loco. I mean, the 48DS is awesome, but it's very, very tiny.
Between that and Rocket, it was getting silly.
Yeah. And then, of course, we can't forget the 9F, can we? 9F. Everyone needs several 9Fs in their life.
I couldn't call that, to be honest.
No, likewise, I wouldn't have picked it up as soon as I saw the glimpse of the catalogue, because they did a little bit of teasing over the catalogue during their advent calendar in December. As soon as I saw the catalogue, I recognised the artwork straight away just from the corner. It is really, it's a Terence Cuneo painting. And that was on the 1971 catalogue, like I said right at the start of this presentation as well. And it's one of those catalogue artworks that's always stuck in my mind. It's probably from doing a lot of the publications we've done with Hornby over the last sort of 2 years or so. Instantly, they're doing a 9F. Are they really doing a 9F? That could be really good. So looking forward to seeing that.
So you've heard about what we want. I mean, it'd be great to hear what you want as well. So don't forget to let us know down in the comments below what you're most looking forward to coming.
Yeah, absolutely. So the world's your oyster. Tell us what you're looking forward to. And as well, don't forget that our latest issue is on sale from January the 6th in Tesco, January the 7th in stores nationwide, and that has got a full 8-page detailed report on all this as well. So we've broken down all the items that are new from the 2021 range, and you'll find tables in there listing all the locomotives you can look forward to in the new year, and that's all been organised for you to make it really easy to understand what is new. And beyond that, you can also get that multi-save offer at Tesco from January 6th to January the 19th, where you can buy the latest issue of Hornby magazine, that's issue 164, with the Hornby 2021 catalogue for a discounted price. You save £4 over the full cover price by buying those together. And if you don't want to go to Tesco, you can get them at shop.keypublishing.com as the same bundle deal. And if you're a Hornby magazine subscriber, you can phone us on 01780 480 404 and get the same £4 discount off your Hornby 2021 catalogue.
It's exciting. There's no excuse not to have the catalogue.
That's right. I mean, I love this time of year. Hornby range release. It's brilliant. It's so exciting. We've known about it for a little while. Been preparing all this for you, and we can't wait to see what you think. So, as Richard said, let us know in the comments below, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
So, thank you as ever for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and like Mike says, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.